Hi guys, here from Pax Europiana. This was a very intensive weekend and I'm very happy I was in Linz for this weekend. I will now go to Tbilisi via Vienna. I will keep you posted, but what I want to make in conclusion very clear is that we need to join NATO. I've made now several statements also to be clear to support NATO membership from the side of the Christian student fraternities, and that was some of these German-speaking videos. Just to explain you, I'm also a member of that Christian European student fraternities, and it's very important that we bring the debate into the liberal movement, into the conservatives, into the Greens. If the socialists want to stay with Russia, that's their problem. Yeah? We will have to name and shame them. Yeah? If the nationalists are funded by Russia, as they are, that's of course something for the criminal authorities, for the state prosecutor to investigate, and it will be a big problem for them because I will name and shame everybody as a treasonous, a traitor towards Europe and Austria, who is not for NATO and who is taking Russian money, because that's obviously Oberstredel style of activity which some parties have done in the past. And I warn everybody, you will be prosecuted by the state attorney, you will go to jail for accepting Russian money at time of war. Be sure about it. Yeah? The time for justice has come, and it will come very hard on the ones serving Russia, because you serve the hostile state in time of war. That's treason, and that will be prosecuted. Be sure about it, and better repent, clean up your act, and get clean, or get out, or get in jail. That's get out of politics and state institutions. Yeah, that's very clear. Yeah, NATO membership is on the horizon. Some people don't think so. I tell you, it will come. Austria will join NATO as well, and the corruption and Russian-funded kind of oligarchy we had to live too long under, it will also find its appropriate end. Good, that's very clear. What I want to say is also we will have the 19th of June European Day for EU Enlargement Action Day. That will be very good. Please, wherever you are, try to make an action for Ukraine in the EU, for visa liberalization of Kosovo, for Bosnia's EU candidate status, for Macedonia and Albania to start the negotiation, for Montenegro actually to be in the EU very fast because it's most advanced country and it's very perfect, and actually very good not to give Lavrov any kind of landing rights and flyover rights in. He couldn't go to his friend Vucic. That was very good. Bravo Montenegro, bravo Bulgaria. You see the wisdom of NATO membership. It works very well, and that's really very good. So now the recent events, just to give you an update, I will continue to publish for Ukraine in the EU, and also I say to everybody I meet, Slava Ukraine, and I make it very clear that Ukraine will win. We will also, this very terrible war of attrition which Russia has started now, 100 days in the east, especially they do a war of attrition, they will fail as well, because I call the West to support Ukraine financially, militarily, industrially, in the capacity to withstand that brutal attack. And obviously I call always, and I have done from the past and in the future, for NATO membership for Ukraine. It is the only way to make peace. Yeah? The borders, whatever the ultimately new armistice line will be, they must be protected by NATO troops. There must be a peace mission by NATO at this border, and it's also much better to intervene militarily west of the Dnieper to push Russia back over the Dnieper in Kherson by NATO forces and liberate Kherson and Zaporizhia, and also sink every single Russian ship in the Black Sea. This is the way to make it very clear. The longer they continue to fight, they will lose all the treasured ships in the Black Sea until there will be no Russian Black Sea ship anymore. And they have started this war. They are guilty. If they want to nuclear escalate, we have the real working nukes. So nobody will dare to use nukes. We will not reconquer Crimea, no. It will be just the ships in the Black Sea, one by one, like the Moskva, will be sunk. And that's already happening. but it's happening in a much too small scale. The Russian enemy must be removed from the access to the Black Sea. They think they have won the Black Sea. The Black Sea is a European sea, and they will have to open it because a blockade, as they do it, is a hostile act. So there has to be the appropriate response. And Western military, Western Navy, the Ukraine Navy, and with all the ships, if the West is too weak and too careful not to intervene, then at least give Ukraine all the anti-ship and torpedo missiles that needed for the mission to sink all Russian ships, and that must be done. And that's the only way to get Russia to accepting an armistice, because otherwise they will continue this artillery kind of brutality, what they are showing now in Severno-Donetsk and other places. And I make again my peace proposal, because I have a very concrete peace plan. It's of course not a peace plan in a sense, just an armistice plan, but you know, that's also a way to end the war, is to have the division of Ukraine along the oblast lines of Donetsk and Lugansk, where this will be the new GDR, and also Crimea, that they might annex it, like this is what Nazi empires do, Anschluss. That's not good, but we can live with that result. But Kherson Oblast and Zaporizhzhia Oblast must be completely liberated. They must be free, they must be fully integrated in Ukraine, and this must be the case. So that's the only way to make an end of the war, and this requires the full destruction of the Black Sea Fleet and the liberation of Kherson and of Zaporizhzhia Oblast, while we have to temporarily give up the Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast, and they will be the GDR of our times. Unification will be the result of the Euroization and NATO and EU membership of Ukraine. I think I'm very clear. I always question myself, am my dialect or my English not understandable? It's very clear, Ukraine needs the euro. Of course, Ukraine needs to be in the EU, Ukraine needs to be in NATO, and the same like Western Germany was in NATO, EU, and had a US dollar-backed mark, and that is the same thing we need for Ukraine. I think it's very clear now what I say. I hope it's very logical, and I will continue to keep that line, and I hope to have your understanding, support. Please, Ukraine needs the euro immediately, needs to be in the EU and NATO. The role model of Western Germany is very logical. That's the way as well to end the war. It's not the way to peace. There will be no peace with Russia in our time anymore, but it's the way to end this war. But the war must be ended along acceptable lines for Ukraine, and for that to achieve, we need to destroy the Russian Black Sea Fleet. We need all ships who are not in the harbor of Sevastopol in safety in a certain delay. 2 weeks must be destroyed, and then Mariupol, Zaporizhzhia Oblast and Kherson Oblast must be liberated in the summer offensive of NATO. And then there must be some kind of, another armistice agreement after Russia is submitted into the conceding the liberation of Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, and the freedom of navigation of the Black Sea is restored. That's, I think, the way such an armistice has to be. They will get the 2 oblasts and Crimea as never legally, to be clear. I don't want to be accused of treason, but this is very much how this has to work out. Good. More to come from Pax Europiana. I will make the same statements as well in Georgia when I'm there this week, and I call everybody on the 19th of June to tell our leaders to join the demonstrations and to let Ukraine, Kosovo and Georgia, Bosnia into the European Union in this decade. This is the line, and please act for an enlarged EU. Thanks a lot. Bye.